Hi, this is Cernuska, and I am here today to present my final project, incorporating ATI into the BSN program. Identifying the systems problem. The goal is a 90% NCLEX pass rate in our BSN nursing program at Penn State Fayette campus. And this goes across all of the Penn State campuses as well. The statistics from our first year program graduating was the year 2018. We had a small class. We only had 18 students that graduated, and 3 of them did not pass. We had an 83% pass rate, which, as you can see, is below the goal that Penn State has set for us at 90%. So that's why I decided to tackle this problem. It's very stressful this time of the year, every year for us. So this year is our second graduating class, 2019. They're in the process of still taking their boards right now. So those results are to be determined. Supporting data, students must pass the NCLEX to be an RN and practice in the nursing profession. NCLEX failure rate carries real costs, both financial and personal, for students. One of the criteria by which an educational program is judged is the first-time NCLEX pass rate of its graduates. So it's very, very important. We take it very seriously. Incorporating tools into the BSN program will increase NCLEX pass rates. ATI is one of the programs we will talk about, has developed a suite of products focused specifically on providing students the tools they need for NCLEX preparation. And according to evidence-based research done by ATI, the last 20 years for nursing students taking the ATI program, the overall first-time pass rate was 97%. The national first attempt NCLEX pass rate is 91.23% for RNs. So you can see why 97% chance if we include the ATI program, incorporate that into our BSN program. It's going to take a team approach for sure. The team will consist of our campus chancellor, who is Dr. Patrick, the director of nursing, who is my boss, Melissa Miner, and she reports directly to the director of nursing. Also in our team are faculty members, and we all meet twice a month. Collaborate with other campuses as needed. Penn State is a very big family, as you know, and everybody is so helpful with everybody else. And if you have any questions or anything, any help that you need from the other campuses, everybody's more than willing to help give you advice and share information. And also on our team is the ATI representative. Every campus has our own representative, and we meet annually for a tune-up as well as new information. In August, I scheduled it. I reached out to him over this project and talked to him, as well as scheduled our August tune-up. And they're also available as needed. And I've even had to Zoom with them one-on-one for my pediatrics class, just specifically for me. So they're very available. And they are available 24 hours a day for the students and the faculty. So the framework, the process improvement framework that I chose to use is the PDSA cycle. The plan is for us to have a 90% NCLEX pass rate. And that is what Penn State requires. The do part of my cycle is to incorporate tools into the BSN program to increase the NCLEX pass rate. And these tools would include ATI, which I will talk about, in more depth. Another example is UWorld as well. The study part of the cycle is to assess the data of the NCLEX pass rates as we get that data yearly. And then the ACT is to reevaluate with team and make changes as needed based on the results of the yearly NCLEX results of the pass rate. Solutions to the problem: utilize tools in the BSN program to improve NCLEX pass rates. Like I said, ATI and UWorld are two. And we do utilize actually both of them. I just wanted to tackle one because it's such a broad topic and area to cover. Create faculty buy-in is very, very important. And it's also quite challenging for me. And to motivate the students and faculty to increase the usage of the tools, because they have the program, they have the tools within the program, and it's just up to the students and the faculty on how much they use it. So what is ATI? ATI stands for Assessment Technologies Institute, which is a nursing education program that helps nursing students prepare for the NCLEX test, which is the test that they must pass to be a registered nurse. So it's pretty important. ATI, their focus is on the fundamentals of becoming a nurse and the essential skills needed to pass the NCLEX. And this includes tutorials, case studies, quiz banks, and intuitive assessments. Tracking outcomes. PSU requires that ATI is incorporated into every nursing class that we teach in the BSN four-year program. Examples are self-assessment, dosage calculation tutorials, skills modules, targeted assessments for all the body systems, video case studies, which I really like. That's one of my favorite things to do in the classroom. And there are many, many more. This is just a few examples. ATI also has 12 proctored exams throughout the program, and I'll list these towards the end, specifically what they are. 2 of these proctored exams are called the RN Predictor, and they're taken the last trimester of the whole program. And they're 2 hours each. RN Predictor A is taken first, and then the ATI has a live review, which the students have to attend. It's mandatory. It's 3 8-hour days. And then they remediate based on their scores from Predictor A. And this is done by ATI program. It's built in, it's an individualized plan of study for each student, specific based on what their strengths and weaknesses are, where their weaknesses are, and where they need to be remediated. And then they have to turn in their remediation assignment that ATI has given them. And then they take the last exam, which is Predictor B. That's the last test taken. And then they will receive, and we will receive access to see what the probability of them passing the NCLEX, based on all of their scores and all the work they have done throughout the entire program. Everything the students do is tracked by ATI. This is an example of ATI, a page I took out of some data collection, and this is our first graduating class. This is the class of 2018, and what this gives us is a really nice graph, even colors, of the average probability of the passing the NCLEX of this class. So it gave us 74% probability that they will pass, and you can see on the graph as well. And it also tells us in the green, 6 were on track, 6 need improvement, and 6 are at risk. And below, if you could scroll down, which I really can't, but you can see the first 2 students. This also gives a breakdown on an individual student basis, which is so nice. As an instructor, you can go in here and click on the student, and it has all their information. It saves everything, all the usage, all the way on the right, that little graph that says 32% usage for the first student, is how much they've used, and that's in the entire program. For 4 years, this student has only used 32% of the ATI tools in their program that are available to them. And based on their score, their exam scores, they have a 31% probability, only a 31% probability of passing the NCLEX. So that's pretty low for this student, for the first two students. It just shows you an example. So it's really nice, all the graphs and the information that you can obtain through ATI. And this is just all of the different tools. There are 20 tools that are broken down, and it gives on the right the name on the left, and on the right is how much the student has used of that tool. So like Nurse Logic, this student used 100%. But then you go down, I have it broken up into 2 pages, and this is the second half, the second 20, and you can see how their usage drops off. Skills modules, dosage calculations, only 15%. So, you know, why is this? Why aren't the students using more? That's what we don't understand. This is a graph that tells based on their tests, and I told you I would talk later about the all the different tests that ATI gives throughout the program. And these are the tests listed here, and this is a particular student's results of their tests. So everything's tested from pharmacology, fundamentals, my class, pediatrics, OB, community health, leadership, mental health, adult med-surg, and then their comprehensive predictor. So all of this ATI keeps all of this information, and that's how they come up with what the percentage for this student will be to pass the NCLEX based on all of their test scores. So it's really nice. The next slide is the class that just took their boards. This is the data collection for 2019. So this is the class that we still don't know the results yet until they all take, and then this PA state board will notify my director and let her know. But based on ATI's predictions, they have a 72% probability, an average that the students will pass in this class. This is a larger cohort. We have 31 students in this class. 15 are on track, 5 need improvement, and 10 are at risk. And once again, each student, it's broken in so you can pull up each student and see exactly how much they've used and what their probability of passing the boards is. Sustaining the success for the best solution, the director of nursing or DNP leader is responsible for tracking the outcomes. ATI stores all of the data and gives us that feedback. And my director, we all have access to that information, but she has more access. She has access, you know, that oversees everything because she has to report all those results back to our chancellor and the dean of nursing. So she even has access to how much the instructors are utilizing. So she has everything broken down, not only the students, but also for the faculty. So she could see where our strengths are and our weaknesses, what we need to work on. We need to increase the student and faculty usage of ATI, and that is a challenge. That is something that I really am tackling this year. The cost, it is costly. It's $1,200 per student, and that's one fee for the whole 4 years. So they break it up into payments every fall. They have a payment. And so it is costly. So you want the student to take advantage of it. Incorporate and utilize new ATI products. They're always coming up with new tools. So we, as faculty, we have to keep ourselves educated, and we do that through tutorials, webinars, and ATI representatives if we need to. Will even meet with us via Zoom or even come to the campus if they need to. We have our annual tune-up session with ATI representative that I mentioned before coming up in August, and he will go over all the new stuff with us. Also collaborate with other PSU campuses for recommendation. Like I said, we're one big happy family, so if another campus has been through what we've been through and they've had lower NCLEX percentage test rate and they brought it up, what worked for them? We could reach out and say, hey, you know, what do you recommend? What worked for you guys? And everybody works together to help each other. Participate in the ATI ad hoc committee via College of Nursing. I'm on that committee, so I want to continue to be on that committee. And the DMP leader will make ATI a standing agenda item on the bi-monthly meetings with the faculty. DMP leading efforts. The DMP leader is responsible for tracking outcomes, as we talked about, receiving the board results from the Pennsylvania State Board of Nursing, communicating with campus chancellor and the dean of nursing, communicating and collaborating with faculty. And this is how we have to get buy-in from our faculty to do this in order to increase this percentage to 90% so we can obtain our goal. And the students, if we don't create buy-in with the faculty, how can we expect the students to buy in? If the faculty are rolling their eyes every time you mention ATI, like the students sometimes, you know, that's not going to create buy-in with the students. So we have to create buy-in with the faculty as well. Participate in the ATI ad hoc committee, as I said, via the College of Nursing. And that's college-wide. All of the campuses have representatives on this committee, and I am on that committee for Fayette campus. And develop a remediation plan, if needed, based on the NCLEX pass rates. And once again, this is my boss, the DMP leader, that has to do this. And she's already started doing this. She did it last year before she received the board results. And she's just very proactive. And she likes to be on top of things. And she wants to be prepared if we need to. Lessons learned. It was quite an experience. It's going to be very challenging to get the faculty and students to utilize the ATI tools more. It's very, very challenging. And I feel like I'm up for the challenge, but in order to do it, I had to dive in completely and get buy-in from the other faculty to be there with me as well. And before we can get the students to buy in, we need to have it down. And there's so much to learn. And it just seems like as soon as you think you're all caught up on everything, then they have all new tools coming out, all these new things that we need to do tutorials on and webinars. So it's a lot for the faculty. The DMP leader guided me through this process. It takes more than just one person to tackle this task, and that's for sure. It takes a village, as they say, no doubt. Not only, you know, with our faculty, my director, as well as other faculty from other campuses. And we do not hesitate to reach out when I say they're my lifelines, because many times, being new to Penn State, this is only my 4th year I'm starting, I've had to reach out a lot to other campuses and other faculty, and I cannot tell you how helpful everybody is. There is a specific process that must be followed, and this is a hard lesson that I learned, and my boss may have put that on my eval, I'm not sure, but I tend to just want to dive in, and she's like, wait, you need to step back. There are proper steps that you need to follow in order to do this. And so that is something that I have to work on, that I learned throughout this whole process. And I reached out to our ATI representative, as I said, to schedule our annual training in August. We have to keep up with all of the new information. ATI is a very, very large program, and it encompasses many, many, many things, and it's very, it's wonderful for faculty. There's so many things in the classroom that you can utilize that I try to do. Every year I try and add a little bit more and a little bit more into each of my classes of the ATI that they recommend. And most of it is pretty doable. Some of it's a little challenging. And at first I kind of was very hesitant to do it, but I just dove in last year, and I think I was very successful. The response I received back from the students was very positive. And here are my references. And I have very much enjoyed another class with you. As always, I'm sure I'll see you very soon. And take care. Thanks. Bye. It's been a joy. A pleasure as always.